So hello everyone, in Monday here, welcome to my review. It's episode 13, and I know how it works on YouTube, I know how it works on general social media. You have to be positive, you have to be, oh I love this thing, but I'm a ranter, I'm an honest reviewer, and I thought the ending especially, but also the intro was horrible, okay? And if this was released last year, it would be the worst ending last year, 2017. And then so yeah, it's a bit horrible ending. But before we go into the ending, okay, I want to mention that the OVA is definitely the episode, yeah, because we see during her like magical, I don't know, training montage kind of scene, it definitely is the OVA there, with the OVA with the book in the library and so on, right? So the OVA, there's a great OVA, by the way, absolutely love the OVA, that takes place during these like X number of weeks or something where she was training there during the last 5 minutes of the episode, for sure. Absolutely, so that's noticeable. But that being said though, the episode again was good, but first I want to talk about the ending and opening. I mean, I was so disappointed. I love doing an anime opening annotation. I love doing that. I like watching an opening and being like, this character here, you probably fall in love with the main character based on this scene here, and this character over there probably betray the main character, and this character over there is probably a friend of the main character after like 5 episodes. I just love doing those things, and I did it for Bar Yakuza, opening 2, and I was spot on. Like everything I said, I did even that. Everyone was like, "Yeah, you're spot on, man." Everything was like, "This character, she love him. This character is gonna be a rival." I was like, everything was like, they're gonna have fight about this thing. I was like, yep, everything was correct. I mean, I'm pretty good at it. I don't know, but I think I'm pretty good. I think I'm usually very good at predicting happening in opening. I think it's just a good thing too with the whole anime industry. They're so good at producing opening and trailers in Japan. So usually you can see an anime and say, will it be a good anime or not? By the opening. Like I can watch an opening and be like, yeah, this character here has the right movie type. The main character seems to be kind of like an edgy character, and I like that it's more of an aggressive main character. I like that I'm gonna watch the anime. The opening can give you so much. And I'm so disappointed. I planned to do a video where I looked at the opening, go back, screen by screen, look at it again, like, person was reacting to it and be like, okay, what's happening now and so on. But watching the opening, I just felt that, okay, scrap the video ID, scrap the YouTube video ID. There's no meaning to do it at the video, because it's just recap. Yeah, the opening has only recaps, and there's nothing to analyze at all. So I'm super disappointed. It really disappointed me. I mean, for example, you watched Pedal, episode season 4 something last week. I love season 1 of that anime, and season 2 as well. 3 was a little weaker, but I loved the anime, really good anime at the beginning of this. And I watched the opening of the anime. That's how I got into the anime. So that was released way before I had a YouTube channel, right? Way before, it was like 2013, 14, something like that. But I remember that I hadn't really looked into every anime coming this season. But I watched some of the, like a compilation of this is all the 20 new openings for the season. So I just watched through them, and I was like, man, that thing looks awesome. Main character, these 3 senpais, the senpai with the green red hair. I was like, oh yeah, So I was like, that guy looks freaking awesome. This like serious senpai, this older senpai and a young guy, they definitely have a kind of rivalry. So we got Naniva and so on, right? They all have, like, you can see in the opening right away that, okay, so we have this serious Kinyo senpai, he's a tough guy, that's like he's a leader. And then we see, for example, that Naniva has, I guess, like a friendly rivalry with his senpai and so on, right? You can see that in the opening, and you feel like, I want to watch the anime. So you watch the first episode, and he's like, yeah, pretty good anime. And they don't really introduce the senpai until episode 4, so you still feel like, I want to see more of the anime, because the senpais look really, really badass, and I haven't gotten yet. So I want to see what's happening. It's from the opening alone, or episode 1, like, I have to see more, right? And opening gives so much from that thing. So that's a great type I think it is, where the opening really pulls you in. And this is a really big opening, so it maybe works better pulling you in even if you haven't watched the anime, because you can see this opening and be like, okay, it's pretty cool to see the feelings and so on. However though, the ending, and it's usually all weaker and they're less important because it's all, but the ending, man, the ending of this episode, or the season, that is the worst ending I've seen in years. Literally, not figuratively, literally the worst ending I've seen in years. It's not an ending. It's just one scene. It's just like, I'm getting emotionally frustrated on this thing, because it's just so disappointing. Just the latest ending I've seen in many, many years. Because think of it, the last ending, the first ending of Ancient Magus Bride, is still screens, right? So it's showing like 20 different screens, like screen. There's no animation in it, but it's a lot of screens. But this new ending is basically just one single screen and you just pan it upwards. Like that. It's basically they have the camera here and it just goes like that. Right? That is the whole ending. It's super boring. And also, like this separate here, the positive with Spider-Man versus Green Goblin, when Stacy over there, right? It's a classic Spider-Man, I would say most of the scene of Spider-Man. That is like more exciting too. But it was the least exciting you can take to. They have like, I guess London in some houses there, some fountain and ruins, and then it zooms out for that thing, right? And it shows you the stars for like a minute, and then it goes to the sun. So basically it's like a black screen with a few dots on it, and then it's up to like a yellow cloud. Like it is the most boring ending I have seen. Yeah, like it's no ending. Like why even have the ending? It's just, it's really bad. It's just really bad. I mean, well, I guess it's less than bad in a sense because it's just like nothing. Yeah, it's like the most indifferent ending ever. It's like end. it's like the One Piece endings. They don't have an ending. They have like 2.5 minute opening instead, and there's no ending. That's better, right? This is like here's the ending. This is basically a song and a black screen. It's like what? Seriously? Like I'm just man, I'm getting angry the more I think about it. Like what was this ending? It was just a black screen and frustrating, really frustrating. Okay. So anyway, let's go to the opening then, because the ending you can't even talk about. It's basically just a black screen. Yeah. The opening and the song was pretty mediocre too. Yeah. So whatever. The opening then. The opening, as I mentioned, I think is much more important because the opening gets you right at like, when I watch the anime, you see the opening. I generally never skip openings in any anime I watch, very rarely. And some animes, you so get into them very quickly. For example, My Hero Academia, the first ending. I'm like, for first I saw anime, I was like, this is a really good opening. This anime is really good, and I followed that weekly. The first season I haven't read the manga, and then I read the manga after I watched the first season. And I was like, man, every week, turn on opening, you're like, oh yeah, Small Might, you can do it. Like, you get into that really well there. And it's like that, a good example of like the shonen opening, I guess. And then we have like the more, I'm thinking of like last season, but for example, Koi to Uso, right? The romance, weird marriage anime that I've reviewed and read last week. Oh, sorry, last year. That has the more of like the Tanashi, you know, like the pain, the disappointing. You kind of feel it's a good like, it's like the pop into it, but at the same time it's singing about like, you know, like relationship and pain and like how, you know, being in love can be troublesome, and it's like you get the feeling, you're like, you get into the emotion of, okay, I'm gonna watch an anime now about relationship and who to marry, who is my real love and my true love and so on. You get into the feeling. It's a great opening. It's a very good opening. It fits the anime perfectly, and that also is really exciting, I think. And it also helps you because later on I can watch. I love to watch the anime openings right during when I work. I listen to anime openings and J-pop and especially, and I have several screens where I can watch the openings while I work and like look at them every now and then. And that kind of keeps me going because I watch an opening like, yeah, that's a great anime. That's a great anime scene. Yeah, and I can shuffle different openings, right? And this opening, it kind of works. That's what I mean. It's not the worst opening ever. The ending is horrible because it's no ending. But the opening isn't the worst ever because it is recapping different good scenes from season 1 here. So it's not the worst thing ever because you do see like, the Phoenix scene, or this scene with the familiar and like Root. So it just gives you pretty much all like the most memorable scenes from the first season. So in that sense, I probably can watch the opening right when I work, and then take a quick look over, like, because that's kind of how I do it when I work. I look over maybe once every 5th minute, or like this is my favorite part, so I look over, get my little red luck, get some energy, and there's something really work well for that because you can look at it and it's like, oh yeah, that's the scene where Root becomes her familiar. That's a great scene, like, so that works, but it's really bad when it comes to that analyzation and predicting it, because I like that. Sometimes it's too much, like One Piece opening tour is my favorite example of that, because it's just showing everything that happened, and it's just way too like spoilery heavy. But I just love that in openings, like kind of have some spoilers. It has some kind of storyline, right? They're showing like, that's probably the new bad guy, or maybe is it? Yeah, like, I just love that. And this had literally no new scenes. Yeah, it has 0% new scenes. It's only recap, and it's a few like, I arguably would say, well, that's kind of another angle on the Wanderer, kinda, yeah, and it's like, but it doesn't really matter so much. Like, you can watch it and like, there's something new in there. So as an anime watcher in that sense, it gives me zero hype, right? It's like a zero hype and it's 0% hype intro. As I say again, you can watch it probably afterwards, you can watch it on the side, and it works decent. The song wasn't as good either for that matter, in my opinion at least. That wasn't a very good, like, yeah, this is perfect opening. No, not at all for a second. But especially when I know next week we watch the next episode, right? I won't feel much hype from the opening. We'll be like, yeah, those are some of the best scenes someone had. But there's not a single scene there that I feel, oh, is there gonna be a dragon this week? I mean, obviously if you had like a big, massive dragon right in the opening, you would be like for example, where is the big bird dragon thing that's been showing? They showed this like thing before the opening. Man, this opening was so disappointing again because it showed this like big bird thingy that's like gonna fight Chise at London, right? At Big Ben and so on. They showed that before the opening. Yeah, they have this kind of creepy narrative being like, oh, she doesn't know the trouble she's gonna be in. And you see the dragon, you're like, oh yeah, dragon's gonna come. Was a kind of dragon bird monster that might be Elias based on the color scheme, doesn't matter. But yeah, so you see the thing happening, and you're like, oh, that looks cool, right? In my mind, I absolutely expect it to be that the opening will show scenes of that bird dragon thing, rock, whatever, black rock thing, gonna fight, right? It's gonna fight Chise as some kind of, Tower of London, the Bridge of London, or Big Ben or something like that. Yeah, they're gonna sky battle, like a few seconds of that. That's what I'm expecting to see, right? So to be excited and hyped, say that's gonna be awesome, and then of course like 10 weeks later we will get there. But then every week you'll be like, is this finally gonna be the sky battle? Yeah, and you will see the sky battle in the opening and be like, oh, that's gonna be best. Yeah, that's kind of how you want to be it, right? And especially as it presented itself like that, because it had the guy talking about her troubles, as I mentioned, then showing this like new incoming enemy, or maybe Elias based on kind of how it looked, so he might be corrupted or whatever, right? And this recap, so super disappointing. The having that thing before, the narration of trouble to come, made the opening even more disappointing. Like that made it more disappointing. So that is extremely disappointing. It's just from that. I mean, I'm not upset, but it's like I can't emphasize how disappointed I am that they had 0 new scenes, and even then setting up this like, you wanna see the bird dragon? Oh, it's the bird dragon. Here's the fees again. Here's the flying chicken. Oh man, it's so bad. But yeah, really bad. Anyway, talk about episode. Yeah, rant over. Talk about episodes quickly then. But I'm upset. I am emotionally angry. But yeah, so anyway, the episode, as generally, ignoring the opening and the intro, which will probably be making me angry every week from now, were pretty fine. I think the episode in general was pretty good. It had some, I mean, it has this weird Stockholm syndrome, Elias love thing that is kind of creepy. I mean, we say it every week, but it's kind of creepy. And yeah, it's like some of the scenes there, I think they were pretty good actually. They were pretty good dramatic, and we see character development both for Chise and Elias, so it isn't that bad. But at the same time, it's very much, it feels extremely unnatural, right? It feels character, and she's like, oh yeah, and it's like it's just kind of weird, and it's hard to compare it to other animes. It's kind of like, I mean, it is a woman dating, but the thing is that I'm thinking like Beauty and the Beast and so on. It's kind of similar in that sense, kind of as a premise. But the actual dialogue is much more Japanese, right? The dialogue is more like, oh, I don't even understand loneliness, because the beast is a human, looks like a beast, and Elias is more like a beast trying to be human with no understanding of what is being human, right? It's much more philosophical and so on, and it's hard to kind of grasp what's happening, right? In a sense, it's a weird scene there, but it was pretty good. And we see Elias learning. I think that if I look at Elias, and I think she agrees there, is that he's like, he understands like loneliness on a theoretical level, right? He can read a book and understand, okay, that's what being lonely is. But when he has to feel himself, he has feelings though. So he still has feelings, but he can't understand what those feelings means, and he's like, oh, I feel this thing. And she's like, oh, you're lonely. Oh, that's loneliness. Yeah, so he has the feelings, but he can't really put them in words and so on, right? So it's interesting. Definitely interesting. I think it was pretty good. I think it was a pretty nice scene there. But that being said, and I know I'm in a bad mode for this anime. I'm like, oh god, it's opening. But it was too long. I think it was too long, right? That scene was pretty good, but how long can it be? 10 minutes? I was like, they probably could have better pacing on it. And this is always the anime's problem about the pacing. And then we had the whole montage training thing, so that was too long. So the episode in general was probably like a 7 out of 10 or so, I would say. The scenes were good, but they were a little slow. And then we got into this, the guy, Turtle Fox, right? And that was absurdly predictable. It says that, oh, you have like 10 minutes of no action at all. So it has to end on a cliffhanger. So that also kind of made it a little cheesy, a little forced, right? I think as a viewer, you know something has to happen, or else you probably will lose interest in it. That's what I meant some other times, or meant to talk about some other times in this anime though, when I review it, is that I feel that it's a pretty good anime, but it's kind of like, it's probably a much better binge watch anime, and I feel that watching it weekly, like I do for these anime reviews, I feel that it's not that good of an anime, because this episode wasn't that strong, right? And it ends, or not fast, I mean, it was kind of weak, then not that fast, and it ends on a massive cliffhanger, and this anime kind of has to do big cliffhangers, because they don't have much action per episode, right? So they have to kind of make you feel, I have to watch the episode to see the cliffhanger. And then you go, so you feel like it would probably better to watch like 10 episodes in one day and just kind of watch through it instead of having to go. I would say so. I've said it before as well. I think it's very clear episode, and also I think it's just kind of predictable. I say again there, because it's, as I mentioned, it kind of shows that this formula for the anime is that they have very slow progression. It's pretty good and beautiful, but it's kind of slow, right? And they know that they have to really, like, you want to watch that episode? Here's big cliffhanger. They really know they have to do that. Whereas they probably lose interest. I think a lot of people were interested, even in this episode. So that's kind of an interesting sense of it, actually. Because a lot of other animes can be, I guess, more action-packed during the full episode, and the cliffhanger, necessarily there's no cliffhanger. It's a continuation on the struggle, right? For example, I'm not gonna spoil here then, but One Piece, for example, I mean, the current One Piece storyline with mechanics right now, you have this ongoing stuff with Luffy, right? I'm not gonna say what, but if you read the manga, you know what I mean. And it's like you have this ongoing struggle with Luffy, and there's no real need for a cliffhanger. What's happening to Luffy right now? Because every chapter with Luffy is exciting. You know, all the pages start, oh, this is cool battle, this is cool image, like that kind of feeling, or every page. So, or like every second page, whatever, yeah. But so the 20th page, last page, where they have like 10 different moves happening, 10 new abilities showing in this episode. You don't really need to be like, massive cliffhanger of this thing. You don't need that, because it's been constantly like dunk, 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 dunk. And the last page is like a little more, a bigger slam, but not much more. It doesn't need to be a massive slam during those kind of like really exciting combats. And then of course the next week, it's like the same thing again. And sometimes it'll be cliffhanger anyway, but generally you don't really need it. But this anime here really shows you that it's like, especially with that magical training thing, it's like kind of slow, and then you just know there's gonna be some kind of like a sky beam coming down from the Independence Day sky beam coming down, right? You know that's gonna happen. So it's called, it ends with she's turning into a fox, and you kind of know what's gonna happen. Not necessarily of course the fox thing, but that's something that will happen. So kind of kidnapping, some kind of big explosion. Because this is like, the slower it is, this anime, the bigger the effect has to be, I guess, in the ending, I would say, and they kind of showed it, right? So I think it's pretty good, but it definitely feels a little like they've done it before in the anime. She's kidnapped like every second episode. I think you're kind of doing the same, yeah. So that is a little repetitive. I will say that though, and it feels a little bad in my mouth thinking about it, because it's like the 4th time they kidnap Chise. And also it's so predictable what's gonna happen. Like this old magician guy appears, and he's like, "Oh, a new mage. Wonder what I can do." Boom! You fox now. It's like, of course something that's gonna happen. It's like, I don't know. But anyway, opening ending really sucked. Okay, they were horrible, and the episode was pretty good. So see you guys next week, and have a great.